MDL is a unique learning platform that brings the authentic resources of museums to schools across the country and transforms them into ready-to-use curricular resources. We know that education has the power to transform lives and strengthen communities.
I think the timing for a platform like MDL couldn't be better. We've seen in the past year and a half or so how important it is to have different types of resources, especially digital ones that we can reach out to kids, wherever they are. It's really nice to have a tool like this that I can use in the classroom.
When you think about great things for your classroom, think about websites that you can use that are interactive for kids. MDL really does that. It's a one-stop shop. It brings the best from museums across the country, from partners across the country, to provide primary and secondary sources in a visual way, in an audio way, and by seeing all kinds of resources that provide the best ways to interact with content online.
As much as I love the internet for finding great resources for my classroom and for my students, I am all too familiar with the black hole of searching for good classroom activities, trying to figure out what is good enough, what is appropriate for my students, what really matches my curriculum. After hours on searching, I end up with nothing and a lot of time lost. So that's one reason I really love Museums for Digital Learning. When I go to that website, I know that everything there has already been carefully curated by museum experts and by educators.
Not only is this site developed by scholars and museum professionals, teachers, and community members, but it's been beta tested by students as well.
Museums for Digital Learning, the collections can come alive. They can be used, they can be circulated, they can be discovered, and they're no longer only sitting on shelves or in exhibits.
I think what's unique about MDL is that the platform is going to keep growing with diverse content from museums across the country. Each institution that uploads content that reflects their collections will bring more interdisciplinary perspective. So when I'm creating resources, I make sure that they reflect the unique collections that the Field Museum has to offer.
So it's not something that you go to and see the same thing all the time. Yes, the resources are there, the inquiry kits are there, the activities are there, but what you're going to see is that they continue to add based on people who say, we'd love to see this, and partners who come to the table and say, I've got these great resources, how can we work together to share them with people across our nation?
There's no limitation on what we can do. These digital experiences with the collections, they're not limited to physical spaces or the constraints of our audience. We can reach people through MDL that would never have the opportunity to even step foot in the building, in different parts of the state, in different parts of the region, the country, or even the world. We're still able to connect with them and share our stories and our collections.
One of my favorite experiences working on MDL so far has been building connections with our collection staff and resources. I think it elevates our content to a new level when we can include primary and secondary sources. This also ensures that students and teachers have access to those resources that were previously unavailable to the public.
A dinosaur bone collection, or bronze materials from China, or maybe you're investigating suffrage because you've been studying about women's rights. Any of those pieces are easily accessible for your students to have in their hands an artifact or something else that allows them to think about what they're learning.
We're excited about this because the riches of learning inside our museum field are now going to be made available to young people all across the country. And we are making this available to all museums to be a part of this collaboration, to join with us in what is a great trend in the museum world, a great trend in the educational world of creating virtual education with the resources outside of school and bring them into the school and into students' lives.